What's going on YouTube? Greg Ferris back here with another training video for you guys. This is going to be a pull hypertrophy workout. This is the 1 day a week I train where I don't have a major movement in the Jim Wendler 531, since there are only 4 main movements and I do an upper, lower, off, push, lower, pull routine. One of those movements, one of those workout days, there isn't a major movement, so that's my pull day. So you'll see that here. It is a deload. This was a deload week for me in a sense, but what I did here was just keep the volume a little bit lower, and the rep ranges were the same. It was part of my hypertrophy week as well. So that was my first set of dumbbell rows there, just kind of warming up, and I believe this was my third, maybe my 4th or 5th set. I did 5 total sets this workout because I had a little more time on my hands. I ended up working the 8 to 12 rep range with hypertrophy. I really like the one-arm dumbbell row. I like isolateral work with really any body part, especially upper body. And you know, the one-arm dumbbell row, you can really feel it once you kind of pause at the top. You'll see me do that with the lats. Back isn't, I wouldn't say back's my weaker, isn't really a weak spot for me, but I'm definitely just trying to build overall size, overall lats. So I'm definitely trying to hit that pretty hard here with the one-arm dumbbell rows. And I think back can probably take a little bit more volume than smaller body parts, probably even more than something like chest or shoulders, something like that. So really try to focus on the mind and muscle connection as well. You see me kind of pulling my elbow, pulling my wrist to my hip to try to engage my lat as much as possible, as opposed to my upper back, kind of the rhomboids and the rear delt and whatnot. So I really try to focus, really try to squeeze at the top, pause. And if I can't pause at that top, it's most likely going to mean that my weight's too heavy. So this is one of the movements where I definitely stress form over just throwing weight around, because I think this was a 65-pound dumbbell here for like 12 reps. And I know people that can probably do like hundreds, but they really don't have any lat development. They're just kind of throwing it up and down. So make sure you're using a weight you can control on this movement. So that was my rowing movement, and then I went on to my pulling movement. This is the close grip pull down. Again, same volume here, was about 3 to 5 sets, 8 to 12 reps. I believe I only did 4 sets on the day. I can't remember which set this is, but kind of same philosophy here, kind of pausing at the bottom of the movement. I'm trying to pull to my kind of lower chest, upper abdomen area, and then I really don't try to extend all the way at the top. I try to get a pretty good stretch, but when I kind of keep it on my lats and out of my biceps. So really trying to focus on form here as well. Again, I like to have a row and a pull in all of my back workouts, and even on a upper body workout, I usually have at least 1 row and 1 pull. That's how I kind of balance things out with the back work. So see me, that was the last rep there. I think that was probably my last set, just judging by the intensity there. Then here is something a little bit different. I don't have like a set rep range here. What I pretty much do is just try to hit 30 total reps for pull-ups. So I think this was my last set of 9 here. I think it took me 4 or 5 sets today. So I really just try to do pretty much close to failure, take a minute break, close to failure, minute break, so on and so forth. And just do that as many times as I can until I get to 30. Try to keep perfect form as opposed to like swaying back and forth. You see a little bit there, but 30 total reps for the pull-ups. Again, just kind of hit the lats there. An overall great back exercise. Then moving on to some rear delt, upper back work. These are face pulls. I think I have 2 different angles here. The reason why I have 2 angles here is because I think this one shows really well that my feet are kind of out in front of me. That's really important. I'm not in a straight vertical position here, so that kind of puts the emphasis on my rear delts when I pull. You see me kind of keeping the elbows high and pulling the rope into my eye. I kind of go with the eye-nose level there. And again, with all back movements, you kind of see the common denominator is squeezing at that contracted position, really trying to feel the movement. And then here again, you can kind of see it from a different angle. Same thing here. You can kind of tell that my feet are out in front of me, but I think that's where a lot of people mess up. They try to do this too vertical, and they end up bringing in, when I do that, I bring in a little too much trap. So you'll hit a little bit of traps, a little bit of upper back, but for me, I'm really trying to hit rear delts here. This is pretty much the only movement I do for rear delts. So volume here is a little bit lower than something like a heavy row or a heavy pull. It's usually about 2 to 3 sets. And then since it's hypertrophy day, again, kind of higher rep range, about 10 to 12. So That was my only rear delt work. Sometimes I'll do some like reverse flies for rear delts, but I don't do a lot of rear delt work. I really just try to throw in a little bit of stuff here and there just to make sure I don't have any imbalances, but it's definitely not like the bread and butter of my training. And then I moved on to just some bicep work. With pull days, it's pretty similar most of the time. It's a heavier movement, such as something I can use two hands with, like you see here, the easy bar curl, or maybe the barbell curl, maybe sometimes alternating dumbbell curl. Can go a little bit heavier than that, but essentially I want one movement I can go a little bit heavier on, and then my second movement is usually an isolateral movement, something I can I don't want to say get a pump in, but it's more of a finishing exercise, if you will. So I think I performed 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 here. I think I was hitting around 10 reps. I think I did 4 sets, a little bit higher volume than normal, but this is definitely the main exercise. And then this is an example of like a finishing exercise that I do, lying incline dumbbell curl. So it's pretty hard to cheat here. You actually see my elbows do come up a little bit, but not a big deal. Again, this is a finisher exercise for me. I also use maybe like a concentration curl from time to time, hammer curl, things like that. Isolateral movements. Again, this is kind of a higher rep range, slightly less volume, about 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps, but you can use a variety of different bicep exercises there. Just 2 examples, and I try to keep it consistent for the most part so I can focus on progressive overload and really make some good gains. So that's the routine, guys. I think I have the full routine posted up here in a second. If you guys like these videos, make sure to comment, like the videos, subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff. Thank you everybody for the support.